Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is the Big Girl Diary live streaming. I'm doing an update on the slap scene around the world with Will Smith walking on stage and slapping Chris Rock for making a joke about his wife. Uh, Love you. Looking to see you in the movie G.I. Jane 2. Jada didn't like it. Will was laughing, looked at her, then he stands up, walks on stage in front of everyone. Everyone. Chris was talking, has his hands, I guess, in his pants, and still entertaining the crowd. He walks up and he slaps him, turns around, walks off stage, and then starts saying, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." Well, I did a video last night and I start thinking about it, and I'm like, there's some things I just didn't say, and I want to do an update. Now, I listened to other guys, other people's content, and I specifically looked for men. And the men had a very interesting take on it, which I didn't even consider because me looking at it from the emotional point of view, trying to get out of that difficult thing to do. But the men, most of the men were disappointed. I looked at O'Shea Duke Jackson. He was disappointed. I looked at Abbott and Preach from a comedic point of view. They had their point of view. And a person I really don't agree with all the time is Kevin Samuels, but he brought an additional aspect to it that I didn't even think of about um, Will getting up out of his chair and basically that's what he did. He committed a crime. You it may not mean much because he got up and he slapped him, but no one he Will should have kept his hands to himself. But also, what Kevin Samuels said was that a high value man has to behave in a differently because he moves differently. And as I said yesterday in that video, was that Will Smith is a brand, and he just showed poor judgment and character. But Jada, hmm, I, I mm, they're a strange couple. I mean, he said love makes you do crazy things. Love should make you do sane things to keep your family together. And Jada has been, how can I say in a polite manner, putting her family on Front Street, talking about her husband. Um, just the levels of humiliation on my part by me thinking the levels of humiliation is just beyond belief. But Jada has no boundaries, none whatsoever. She just has no off point of which I'm not going to do that. That just that's out of my moral character. I'm not going to do that. Just just does it. And what's shocking to me is that even though that Will Smith may have had a less than stellar upbringing, but he did have a strong moral character as far as he doesn't even like anyone cursing. So for him to really come out of his moral foundation like that, to not only get up and smack a man doing his job that he's getting paid to do and at a award ceremony, but get up and smack him, will you lost yourself somewhere. You lost your mind. You lost your mind. And I like I like Will as an actor. I'm not so much liking the person that he's becoming, his public persona. Just it's going downhill. I mean, Jada, she is who she is. I guess maybe some men look for beauty than character, you know. But back to what I was talking about. But the Black Manosphere really, I thought they did a great job critiquing because they're looking at it from an analytical point of view. Um, the guys that I named, was disappointed with Will's behavior and how he should have conducted himself. Now, Jada wanted this. She boycotted the 2015 Oscars that she wasn't even invited to, but she boycotted it, saying that there should be more Black representation. Now, I'm not saying that there's no racism involved. No, I'm not. I think I think some of the people who win Oscars, uh, I wouldn't go watch the movies. I just, their idea of cinema excellence and my idea of cinematography excellence are, it's different. Some of the people who are lead characters, I'm like, how do they even get it? But that's just my 2 cents. But for her to make such a big deal out of it, saying that it's racist and this, that, and the other, and then she brings a level of ghettoism. It's a word today. I would say below ghetto, I would say Jitoism. A level of Jitoism. Just, it's embarrassing. Oh, will. And it most definitely put a stain on us as a group because, in a dominant society, whenever you have a couple of what they consider minorities or Black people, they're judged by the entire group. There's so much to unpack here, so much. So, Will goes up and assaults a man. And, I'm looking at Chris Rock because nobody's talking about Chris. Well, what they're talking about, calling him a beta male. And no, Chris Rock was there to do a job and he maintained being professional. Now, if he were to just, as Will turned his back on him, which is the height of disrespect, you go up, you slap a man and turn your back on him. Like, I know you're not going to do nothing because you're whatever he thought, and walked away, turned his back on him and walked away. Now, Chris Rock has high moral values. He's someone to say, okay, he has a threshold that that he's just not going to cross. He has a moral character that he's not going to compromise, and he has that line in the sand that he's just not going to cross, especially if a woman is behaving like the way Jada behaved there and in the past. Say, well, look, you threw yourself out there, then you deal with your own ovary fortitude. Now, what I found quite interesting, the women, I thought that they would co-sign on Jada because they have this. For me, I think it's ridiculous to co-sign with a woman simply because she's a woman or simply because she's a Black woman. You might want to open up the trunk and look at the moral character before you just start co-signing on someone. Mm-mm. Didn't co-sign. I thought it was low class, low rent behavior. Just my 2 cents. But women were like, well, yeah, I would want my husband to to protect me if I was insulted in that way. Okay, let's put it in context. You're at a award ceremony, you and your husband, or you and your significant other, and imagine this: you're at a ceremony and you're with your man, and somebody makes a little joke, a small joke, but roasted other people. But because that person knows you, made a small little joke, did not know, I didn't know, you had alopecia. You had your hair cut real short. I thought it looked beautiful. And made a little joke about, love you. Can't wait to see you in the movie G.I. Jane 2. Now, just stop and think about just that little joke right there. It was simply a joke. But no, you want your husband to get up on national TV, walk up there to defend your honor from a joke, slaps a man, turns around, sits down in front of everyone. Everyone in the room there is watching and televised. It's national and international to where people in other countries, other filmmakers, producers are going to be seen. And the only thing that you could think of is to get up and slap a man. If you put your man in that position and you want him to defend you for that, you are of low character. That's just my opinion. I would never put any males in my family or even my man in that position to where something so small, I would want him to get up and defend me by getting up and physically hitting a person in front of everyone to commit a crime because he made fun of me. Ridiculous. That's just my 2 cents. But just think about that, ladies. Just think about that. Don't always co sign on a woman because she's a woman. Nah. Look at the context of it. Come on, ladies. Let's raise the bar here. Raise the bar. I find it outrageous. I find it embarrassing in her calls for we need more black people at the Oscars with that Gito behavior. Ha! Like we were right for keeping black folks out. Look how they behave. That's just my 2 cents on that. Outrageous. Outrageous. And Will Smith, I have to say, I'm embarrassed for you because this is something that it's going to take you a long time to recover from. Getting up and slapping a friend because your wife puts all your freaking business out there saying that you're bad in bed, having intimate moments with a young guy that has mental health issues. That is her son's friend, and she decides to help him by being with him in a biblical sense, and and then says, "I didn't feel good," and he made me uh, just low character, low moral character. But the guys really didn't get into that. But that's my 2 cents on her. But the guys spent more time talking about Will, making him look more like a, how can I say, a beta male, which in my opinion he did. That right there was so an alpha male would have, in my opinion, and what my idea of an alpha male is to number one always protect home front. And one of the things that you do is you don't mess up your bread basket. You don't mess that up. You always maintain the bag, and to find a different way to deal with a situation without messing up the bag, because his reputation, he's going to have in my opinion, a hard time recovering from this. And now it's like toxic masculinity. Now he fueled the feminists. Now, oh, if he slaps Chris Rock in front of everybody, imagine what he does to his wife. Oh, I can hear the cackling now. I can hear it now. All that foolishness. Oh, he slapped him because no, no. I'm sorry, I digress. Back on the men. Um, Now Kevin Samuels, he said something rather interesting. I've been watching him for a couple of months. I don't agree with a lot what he says. He has this one frame of an average man making $50,000 a year for the rest of his life. That's just that that talking point right there. Now, yes, it is based on on where you live and how much money that you make. Now, okay, I'm not going to get into that, but he made something. He made an observation rather interesting. He and I touched on it, and that info came from Kevin Samuels, how he got up and committed a crime. Also, he hit a man that he more than likely knew would not hit him back because uh, Will Smith is boxing now, getting into shape in boxing. Chris Rock is older. He's like what, 57, 58. Will Smith is he's older than I am, but I don't think he would have got up and tried that stuff on Vin Diesel. I don't think he would have got up and tried that stuff on oh man, John Cena or Michael White. Never. He would have sat there, he would have been upset, and he would have told Jada, shut your mouth and we'll deal with this later. That's exactly what he would have done. Him getting up and getting beat up and slant, no, no, he wouldn't have done that. I don't see him getting up and doing that. I don't see any rational thinking man would get up knowing that a man will slobber knock him because his wife is upset because he made a joke about her that was so how can I say so minimal. He said, Jada, shut your mouth up. We'll talk about this later. But it's Chris Rock. He got up, slapped him, and turned his back on him. And from that aspect, I thought that was rather interesting because it looked like that Will Smith knew he wasn't going to do anything. Maybe because Will Smith knew that he would be able to, beat him up with no problem. And I'm looking at it from the male aspect. I'm thinking, hey, I mean, that sounds right. That makes sense. Yeah. And let me see. O'Shea Duke Jackson, what he said, and I can't say it verbatim, but I'm just going to sum or paraphrase. Get a divorce. Divorce the woman. That she has something over on you. What it, though Abbott and Preach was talking about, she probably has something over him and making him stay. I don't know. Who knows? There might be some truth to it. I don't know. But it does make sense. I mean, the wild stuff that she's doing and Will Smith being so, in my opinion, beta by no matter what she does, he co-signs and makes it right. Women, she's a bad example to follow. And if you think that's gonna fly, nah. Mm-mm. And Will Smith's talking about love makes you do crazy things. No, stupidity makes you do crazy things. That's just outrageous. However, now yesterday, I did a poll about some guys that I know around my area, and I think I talked to maybe at least about 5 or 6 guys, and I have to say I was shocked. I was blown away, and they said that what Will Smith did, he had every right to do that because Chris Rock offended his wife. I was blown away. I'm like, wait a minute. It was a simple joke. Well, if she's offended, then I'm going to go up and go, handle that business over a joke. I'm like, what? No, keep in mind where they are. They're at the Academy Awards. And as Abbott and Preach said, that that comedians, roast people who are getting ready to get an award, basically to keep their feet on the ground. And especially those who are going to win an award to make fun of them. They're not making fun of anyone else but the people who are nominated and that are going to win the award. Even though I said that, oh no, I don't care what you're not going to offend my woman. I'm going to take care. I'm going to handle that business. I'm just like Getoism. This right here is ghetto dumb to the finest. However, I'm like, okay, then at what point do you draw a line in the sand and say, okay, you went too far and you're on your own? I'm not going to let anybody hurt you, but if somebody says something that is true, get over it. I'm not going to defend you. Not one guy came up with anything. I said, oh my goodness. I said, no, really. No, seriously. One thing, could you think of one thing your wife could do to keep you from defending her and let her stew in her own mess? They couldn't think of one thing. I said, I'm going to tell you something. It takes very little for a woman to turn her back on her man, especially if you embarrass her. Now, the way Jada embarrassed Will, worldwide embarrassed him, and he still defends her. Keep in mind, Jada, in my opinion, has no boundaries. None. Zero. None. Nunk. Nada. No boundaries whatsoever. Anything is within limits. I don't know. I don't know. That's foolishness. Oh my goodness. Oh, I've been on a rant for about 22 minutes. But there are so many things wrong with that. Oh, another aspect, the Rock family. The humiliation that Chris Rock suffered. From my understanding, his children were in the audience. Will, that was low class. Low, low, low class. Low class. I mean, he could have, Chris Rock, Abbott and Preach said something to the effect that, oh, well, I guess I could have slapped you to August. That, not only funny, but stings. I mean, slapped you to August. But, you go up and you hit a guy that you know that you could beat. Chris Rock is, humiliated. The family's humiliated. And what can he do? He's over there working, trying to get a bag to support his family. And this is what you do. This may not mean much, but I lost a lot of respect in you. I really did. Whatever respect that I had, not not cool, classless, low rent, and you put yourself on your wife's level, and that's not very high. It's just a complete and utter embarrassment, showing that black people are violent. Look at him. Look, he has all that money, and look how he acts. He's over there hitting somebody working. White can't take a joke. Too sensitive. Too emotional. Oh man, if whatever gains that we are trying to make as Black Americans, Jada Pinkett Smith, in my opinion, took us back a couple of decades. Just my opinion. It's ridiculous. Now his family's will have to suffer all the embarrassment. Yeah, well, your dad got slapped on national TV and he did nothing. He's a beta male. You know how terrible people can be. And man, will you really put a dent on your brand now if you come through this smelling like a rose, then I know this country is going to HE double hockey stick with gasoline draws on. If that's acceptable, and also keep in mind what you're putting out there for younger people to emulate, because younger people monkey see monkey do. If you could get up there and go slap a man and nothing, you weren't even escorted out the building. You got up, you gave your speech, apologized to everyone but Chris Rock. If Chris Rock never forgives you, I get it. And then now, if he goes on tour and roasts you and your wife, you made yourself open season. What are you going to do? Go to all his events and run around and try to hit him? Going to be a different story then. It's going to be a different story then, because if he goes ahead and just whatever, but you know, low rent, low rent. So me going on a 26-minute rant on this. mm, I I just I just was thinking about it, and there's so much more to this, and this may be a bit, I don't want to say conspiratorial, but people watch these programs and something crazy happens. Now, when this went on, I wonder why they had us look this way. What was going on over here? And I'm thinking it had to do, in my opinion, I can't cash a check on this, but as far as Biden saying, "You man, if we are not headed towards World War III," but that's just my little thing going on there. All right. Outside of that, I have another channel called Law Incorrect. I speak about politics, geopolitical politics, U.S. politics, and politics and entertainment go hand in hand. Sometimes they use actors to make people look the other way, even football, sports, to get people use entertainment to have people look in another direction when they're doing this over here. So that's just something for you just to keep cognizant of. But outside of that, um, ladies, have higher standards. Want better for your men. Um, put yourself in a position to where you're not have low moral character, like and destroy your home, or put all your business out there for any and everyone to hear worldwide, embarrassing your man because you have an issue. Look, if you ever feel that way about your man, divorce him, let him go. Sisters, protect your brothers from women like her. Can't help himself. But and my sympathies go to Chris Rock. You know, I think you're an alpha male because you you Chris Rock maintained himself. He didn't lose control. He maintained himself, finished getting the bag. Low rent, low rent. The Smith family, or Jada and Will, low rent behavior, low rent. So the next time you boycott something, Jada, Look at the behavior and see why they don't want you there. Not because you're black, nah, because of poor character. All right. On that note, please like, subscribe if you like my content. Leave a message. If you disagree, leave a message and we could always discuss it. If you agree with me, leave a message stating why you agree with me. But most of all, I want to thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you and thank you.